On the line with us right now is Aaron Renn. Aaron, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. And as always, your musical selections are impeccable.
Did you like that one?
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, that's you. You're all over the place. Aaron,
That's right.
I just I wanted to have you talk about Tennessee, because I've been talking about Tennessee for a couple of years now. And one of your columns, I think the latest one, well, no, the one before Buffalo, Tennessee, you were down there a while ago. Let's talk about it. You had it up on the Urban File, and the Manhattan Institute site. Let's talk about Tennessee. Good things happening.
Yeah, Tennessee is really a booming state. It's a complex state. You know, it's sort of divided into three. There's sort of Eastern Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and Western Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Central Middle Tennessee with Nashville is one of the single most booming cities in the entire country. It's unbelievable construction there. All kinds of celebrities live there. All kinds of companies live there. A big fund manager from New York City just moved into Nashville. It's doing really well. Eastern Tennessee's also got a lot going on with Knoxville and Chattanooga and places like that. Western Tennessee has had more struggles, but the state as a whole is doing very well, very well. Yes,
Nashville is the article you wrote, and I know from friends of mine that live there, I've been there a couple times, great place, great place. It's just the boom that's going on. Uber is all over the place. The rents are skyrocketing. Home prices are skyrocketing. I went there back, I guess, in the late 70s, mid 80s. And again, I went back there, I want to say 2005 or 6. But since then, it's just, in the last 5 years, it's just grown exponentially. So tell us what's so good about Nashville.
Well, obviously, they have all the business climate right around a no-income tax state, very pro-growth, pro-development. All of that, very ambitious. A lot of the Sun Belt cities are very, very ambitious places. I think the secret sauce to Nashville in some respects is that unlike a lot of places, they stayed true to their roots, and specifically country music. A lot of cities that try to become cool, they want to toss the stuff that they did in the past, like, say, farming or manufacturing, because they think that they need to fit in with the San Franciscos of the world. Instead of getting rid of country music, though, and saying, gosh, this is kind of like stuff that people in the big city don't want, we better get rid of it, they decided to keep country music front and center. They sort of updated it to make it a little more glitzy. It's not like it was with Hee Haw and shows like that, if you remember.
Yeah, there's so many different versions now. It
gives them a calling card as a city that a lot of other places don't have.
Well, Aaron, on satellite radio, there's about 5 different country channels, different versions, the urban, the Bakersfield, the bluegrass, they call it the highway, which is like the Willie Nelson kind of guys. And there's different version, which is really good because you got the old hee haw, and then you have it, to the new version and the new artists. Right. But, Nashville's got a great foodie scene. Nashville, I don't know if you know it, I'm sure you do, but it's home of some of the biggest guys. The senator years ago, Billy Frisk, and his brother, Hospital Corporations of America. Yep. Many, many insurance firms are headquartered there, big hospital corporations, and they're billionaire corporations. The Dollar Generals out of Nashville. These are all people, and believe it or not, I knew a friend of mine who was a Vietnam veteran era gentleman who grew up with these people. He grew up with the Frisks, and he grew up with the people from Dollar General, and he grew up with the Congressman, I think it was Clement, whose father was a governor. So, all of these people, nobody knew. It was like a secret. All these very rich, multimillionaire people with big companies right in Nashville. It wasn't just the music scene.
So many spinoffs, too. The HCA hospital chain, so many startups have come out of there. There are tons and tons of healthcare startups in the area. And really, HCA may have been like the thing that started it all back in the day from that perspective. And then,
I think you have Waffle Houses out of Nashville also.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And a lot of other companies have come in from other places. Bridgestone Firestone moved their American headquarters there. Nissan moved its headquarters, American headquarters, from L.A. to Nashville. My buddy works there. So the companies are pouring in and the startups are going, and people are coming from everywhere. They want to move there. I was talking to a guy who recruits people to come to Nashville. Here's the problem he has. He has to separate the people who are interviewing for his job because they like the job from the people who are just trying to find an excuse to get to Nashville.
So
you really have to just vet people to make sure they're really interested in the job and not just interested in the city. And so that's an interesting one.
But I understand, and I saw your article. I saw some of the pictures you had. I understand the housing now is just unbelievable. What they're doing as far as knocking down and building. And they pretty much, they look alike. They look like what you could find in the D.C. metro area or any other city, the cubicle type of studio apartment, 1, 2, 3 bedroom apartment. And the rates are not cheap at all for Tennessee and Nashville. It's not, Aaron, they're not low. I mean, they're in the 2,000 range now.
Yeah, in a lot of the cities like Nashville or Austin, Texas, which were traditionally very affordable, prices have gone up. It's still not, New York, San Francisco expensive. Right. I was just talking with people from Indianapolis. The housing prices in Indianapolis have been going up too. So these cities are becoming more desirable. I think we're having a little bit more of a housing boom right now as the economy's been doing pretty well, at least at the upper income ranges. The working class continues to struggle in a lot of ways, but the people who are buying these expensive houses have been doing pretty well. And so that's putting a lot of pressure upward on the market. And people aren't building the lower end product like they used to as much anymore back in the day.
Well, pretty much I think the trend here in this area, let's say Northeast or let's say Mid-Atlantic area, the trend is townhomes. They get more bang for the buck when they buy the land,
Yeah. Yeah, and they built, and the other thing is in these cities, they're building a lot of apartments. And it'll remain to be seen how those do over time. A lot of that's been built for the millennials who are, moving into these cities. But the millennial generation is almost past.
I understand there's a lot of senior stuff, and they have this senior-type living arrangements. There's a big company that merged with a company in Toronto who builds these senior living places, not for handicap, but, active seniors.
Yeah, well, I know Carmel's got, it's one of the interesting things about it. It's not just a mono-age community. They've got everything from little kids to singles to seniors. It's, 90-something thousand people there. It's fairly large. And
that's affordable, isn't it, Aaron?
By the standards of the East Coast, it sure is.
Right.
It's pricey for that region. But it's a lot. I can tell you pay a lot more in Connecticut or Westchester County, north of New York City.
Absolutely.
New Jersey, and the taxes are ridiculously low, of course.
Well, you're originally where? From the Midwest?
Well, I grew up actually about 4 miles outside of a town of 29 people in rural Indiana. So I'm actually a country boy who lives in Manhattan now. And that's one of the things that, about this country that I do love is the opportunities it's given me to kind of go from, being in a gravel road in a trailer to Manhattan, and it's just been great. This country's been very, very good to me.
Aaron, where did you go to school?
I went to Indiana University.
Okay, and you took up, what was your journalism?
Yeah, well, actually, believe it or not, I was a finance major, and then I went to Chicago after graduation. I spent most of my career working in corporate consulting.
Wow.
So I moved from corporate consulting into public policy. But essentially, I still think like a consultant in a lot of ways. I'm not a traditional journalist.
I see. Well, you do write well. I love getting
thank you.
I love getting your emails and from the Manhattan Institute and Urban File, and I always appreciate you coming on to the show and updating us on what's going on in the country, because you always have good stories. And I thank you once again for coming on the show today, and have a great travel, have a great rest of the summer, and I'll probably be back sometime in the fall, and we'll have you back again.
Oh, great. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You have a great summer, too.
All right, Aaron. Good to have you. Bye now.
Bye.